Calaroga Shark Media.
Hello and welcome to Palace Intrigue. I am your host, Mark Francis. The Sun's royal editor, Matt Wilkinson, pondered the earth-shattering effects of a Meghan Markle memoir, wondering if the world is ready and telling Talk TV. I wouldn't rule it out. You never know what she can deliver in 4 to 5 years' time if she wanted to. I don't think we'll be seeing an announcement saying that she's bringing out a book. Harry's had this say numerous times. Meghan hasn't. Is the world ready? We fell apart when Harry brought out Spare. Are we ready for Meghan's book? It could well happen in a few years' time. Royal commentator Angela Levin told GB News that Meghan would need to rewrite any memoir she has already penned, saying she's got to decide whether she rewrites it and everything's cushy and lovely, which will make her look ridiculous, because when she was talking to Oprah Winfrey, she was complaining all the time. Or she writes nasty stuff and she's out, she's done, because she's also not listening to her advisors, that she's got to be happy and bright and cheery. She also warned against attacking Kate. It's all sort of salad words that don't mean anything, and I don't think she will dare touch Catherine. We're seeing more and more of the narrative of King Charles being overshadowed. Royal author Clive Irving told The Express, "When Charles appears, he doesn't connect. I feel it very strongly at the time of the coronation that he looked almost morose throughout the whole ceremony. It's almost as though he's in danger of disappearing completely from the public consciousness. He's never been able to connect in a way that his mother could." The most glaring thing at the moment is that after a year, it's become stunningly clear how brilliant the Queen was at her job and how poor he is at the job. The Queen connected through the TV screen or with people in person. When Charles appears, he doesn't connect. An OnlyFans model appears to have joined the campaign against Carol and Michael Middleton. The Express reminds us the family have been at the centre of a cruel campaign since their former party business is reported to have gone bust this summer, owing £2.6 million in debts. The Middletons have been targeted by hateful posters near to their home. And a second set featuring an OnlyFans model named Molly Brash appears to be greater in numbers. The posters around the village show Molly in a pink bra with a note claiming that she started her OnlyFans after being let go by a company that was left out of pocket when party pieces went bust. OnlyFans Molly said, "The point needs to be made that if you don't pay your creditors, it just doesn't affect one person, it affects all employees of the company. Hence why I say I was made redundant because of this. It's not part of a promo, but as you can see by the photo, it would be a great publicity stunt for me. Don't you think I deserve something back after being made redundant? I think I do." One royal expert thinks the American did right taking a royal away from duties in London. We're of course talking about Wallis Simpson and Edward VIII. Marlene Koenig told The Express, "As a young man who toured the US and Canada, Edward, known as David, of course, was very popular, but his sense of duty did not match the efforts from his younger brothers, especially the Duke of York, who married the right woman, had 2 young daughters. David was making no attempt to find a suitable bride to be his Princess of Wales and future Queen Consort. Then he met Wallis Warfield Simpson. The issue for most was her marital status. She was on her second husband when she met David, and that marriage also ended in divorce, with Ernest Sampson playing a role to make it look like he was unfaithful so she could get the divorce. It would have been difficult in the late 1930s for a divorced person to marry in the Anglican Church. Edward wanted to marry a woman who was twice divorced. In hindsight, Wallis did Britain a favour. She was so unsuitable in the late 1930s to be queen that Edward chose to abdicate to marry the woman he loved. By the way, as Edward and Wallis did not have children, had he remained king, his niece Elizabeth was their heir and would have become queen in 1972. Speaking of abdicating, is that what Charles will do in 6 years? Royal author Clive Irving told The Express, "I think Charles feels it's his duty to serve, having waited so long, but he also knows he's the oldest person ever to have been coronated. I think it may already be surreptitiously planned that he will abdicate when he is 80. I think the deal has been done that when Charles is 80, he will quit and hand over to William, and to the extent to which he's handing over stuff now is pretty clear. He knows that William is a much more appropriate face for the monarchy than he is." Palace Intrigue will be right back. Variety took a look at the upcoming season of The Crown. The Daily Mail appears to have seen the Diana ghost scene, and as recapped by Variety, the next morning the Mail's print edition carried an essay by a royal historian calling the series cruel, farcical, and a sick joke, and slamming series creator Peter Morgan for straying from the truth. Morgan says, "I never imagined it as Diana's ghost in the traditional sense. It was her continuing to live vividly in the minds of those she has left behind. Diana was unique, and I suppose that's what inspired me to find a unique way of representing her. She deserved special treatment narratively. Variety points out the absence of Prince Andrew. Haven't gone anywhere near him, admits Morgan, who says his focus has always been on the direct line of succession. Elizabeth, Charles, William. I do little bits of dramatization of Harry, but mainly only in relationship to William. Morgan has not read Spare. I've not read a word of it. Not that I wouldn't be interested, but I didn't want his voice to inhabit my thinking too much. I've got a lot of sympathy with him, a lot of sympathy. In the Variety piece, we learn Morgan had mostly finished writing the 6th season when Queen Elizabeth died, but her death necessitated that he change the show's ending. We'd all been through the experience of the funeral, he says, so because of how deeply everybody will have felt that I had to try and find a way in which the final episode dealt with the character's death, even though she hadn't died yet. And there you have it. If you'd like to email us, our address is thepalaceintrigue@gmail.com. Please follow us on your app of choice. Hit those 5 stars on Apple if you like the show, and hit subscribe on YouTube. I'm Mark Francis. My thanks to John McDermott. This is Palace Intrigue, and good times.
Calaroga Shark Media.